Happy Feature
Podcast.
Government email account. You're sorting through your mail, junk, mortgage bill, electric bill, gas bill. Not a big deal because you're sitting at your computer. You're here with Cosmo, aka Cosmosis, on the Happy Future Podcast. Today we're discussing government email account. Government and email? Yes, the government. Emailing the government in an account. What are we talking about? We're talking about sending messages and receiving messages electronically via email. Now, what is this about, a government email account? Well, hopefully you'll have an account where you can receive mail correspondence that involves somehow the government. So what kind of mail are we talking about? Well, this can be anything. It can be a light bill. It can be a phone bill. Anything that will come through standard mail. You're not trying to hide it. It can be seen possibly by the government. So why would we have something like this? What is the purpose of having a government email account? There are some good uses, such as if you want to send something to the government regarding a medical bill, or you want to get some tax advice, or you want to, get a letter from the president. That's a government email account. And there's many other uses, but let's think about this. What comprises a government email account? Who does it help? Well, hopefully it will help the government. And let's say it should help the people, hopefully. And that email account obviously would be made to save money. But first, let's talk about how does this help the government? This email account. Well, in the 80s, they had the Paperwork Reduction Act. They wanted to reduce the amount of paperwork between people, government, and businesses. Hence that Paperwork Reduction Act. So a government email account will pretty much serve the purpose of that act. Now, you reduce the amount of paperwork that's coming in, that's being sent through the Postal Service. And in the U.S., the Postal Service, they had a lot of issues, especially with the IRS. It's a costly endeavor. It's nothing wrong with having a Postal Service in your country. But it has to be subsidized, obviously, and it has to be efficient. So maybe you don't want all this mail going back and forth through your Postal Service when you can have an email account. The government can basically assign you an email account based on your Social Security number. Everyone has a standardized, unique Social Security number, if we're talking about the U.S., and their identification number can be used to assign them an email account. Of course, it would have to be secure. Of course, it would have to be big enough so it can hold all sorts of mail. But it's very useful. Now, how is it useful? How is this helpful to normal people? Well, they're not an entity like a government, a normal person, but they are people. Most people want innovations to make their life simple, to make a life more simple than it was before. And that email account should help. As a person, you want to be able to get mail. You don't have to go to the mailbox, to get some bills. You don't have to get your, some tuition statements from the mailbox or master promissory note when you or your mortgage note or loan details from the mailbox back and forth when you can get them right in an email account, a government assigned email account. They're already scanning mail and sending you pictures now. They literally scan your mail, and you can check your email, your own email, and get pictures of that mail. They're doing that now. We're already in the future. So before we get into some more particulars about a government email account, how does this save money? How does this, well, obviously, you reduce the amount of paper that's being sent back and forth through the Postal Service. That saves lots and lots, billions of dollars. That's a lot of money that's being saved. That's one way. The other way, it saves money for the businesses. They don't have to send copious amounts of letters through the mail. It can also help you filter out the junk mail. Or maybe you can choose which mail you want regards to junk mail in your government email account that you can filter out. And that's much easier than sorting through mail physically. It's a lot of work. So you would have to worry about, being online. Somebody has to maintain that account. Obviously, the government's maintaining that account. You got to worry about making sure it stays up. But at the same time, we still have the Postal Service, so you can still get sensitive mail or mail you don't want sent through that email account through the Postal Service. But this is big. This is huge. It's good. It's great. It's fantastic. But still, there are flaws. Security is an issue, and privacy. Do people want the government having access to their email account? What if I told you they already have access to your email account, your personal accounts? In the U.S., they have the Patriot Act. Damn near can tap phones, can check whatever the heck they want. So why not just have a government account and use it for correspondence? That's very important, that you're not trying to hide from the government. And maybe they can make exemptions where they can't use it against you in certain contexts, hopefully. So privacy, hopefully, shouldn't be an issue, hopefully. Now, what about security? That's a big deal. Well, you can keep it secure with biometrics. People can sign into their accounts with PIN numbers, special passwords they come up with, and then facial recognition, voice recognition. There's many different ways they can secure their account. They can use fingerprint recognition, and it's on your mobile phone today. Everyone with a mobile phone can verify their account. And there's other verification like two-factor authentication, SMS, and email verification using your personal email account. So that shouldn't be an issue either. There's going to be opponents of it. Of course, they're going to be in the political sector. They're not going to want it. They're going to make all kinds of excuses for it. We don't need it because they can control you and because they can get money from those other systems. The postal system, through businesses. There's a lot of money that's flowing through having these other entities. And there's another uses of it that people can leverage off of for additional usage is the voting system. People can vote through their email. That's a huge, huge improvement. You have a unique email account and people can vote through it. They can keep a registry of who votes. You can have an identification number specifically for you, and you can check your votes. That's a true democracy. So, who's up for a government email account? Government email account. Good or bad? What do you think? You're having fun? Ha 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 ha. Happy Future Podcast.